does not sound happy.
Here's our gear that's broken here. Y'all can see there.
Well guys, this is going to be the last pass for 2025 of corn. Alrighty guys, so it's now the next day. It's Friday, October 17th. We are back in the field. We're going to finish up today. Just had my extension agent leave, Blake. He came in and done our trials for us. And I'll be honest with you guys, they really shocked me. So we done 6 different plots. It was 2 of each, so 2 NK 1082, 10 Pioneer 1289, and 2 Revere 1307. Just kind of scattered through here through the field. We kind of tried to keep them fairly close, fairly similar ground. Try to keep it as accurate as possible. They weren't side by side, but they were pretty close. So all in all, the Revere won the plot. Let's see here. Let me pull up my thing. So the Revere averaged 200.25 bushels. The Pioneer averaged 195.8 bushels, and the NK averaged 185.7 bushels. As far as ROI, or our return on investment, the NK and the Pioneer seed were pretty much the same. They were both around, the best of my memory, both of those were somewhere in that neighborhood of $260 to $270 a bag. So they were on the cheaper side. And then the Revere, it was closer to like $315 or $320 a bag. So it was closer to like what the decab was running this year. So 5 bushel difference between the decab and the Pioneer, at least on this plot, probably did not pay for itself. Now between the NK and the Revere, that was what, almost 20 bushels, I think, if I remember my thing right here. That's probably enough to pay for it at $5 a bushel. I mean, you're making a pretty good profit there. But anyway, been pretty tickled with all 3 varieties, or well, I guess all 4. We do have one more variety on another farm. I don't think it's going to be as good, but we can always hope. But anyway, the numbers on my yield monitor are actually lower than what I've been telling you guys, because each one of those, each different plot we done, mine was actually off about 5 bushels. So like the plot average would, just say the plot would have been 50 bushels, my monitor would have been around 45. So I'm actually reading a decent bit lower than what we're actually making, which I'm happy with. I'd rather be on the low side than the high side. And then I've got more to look forward to when we actually get our final numbers, which is the way I do my corn, selling Deere corn and stuff. It's hard to get final numbers, but we're going to come close. But we're definitely going to be better than what my crop insurance agent come and scored it at. So that's a good thing, and a lot better than I was expecting, to be honest with you guys. Not counting the really good decab corn in the front, this is all this that was planted later, and this that was, we had our new ground in there, about 10 to 15 acres of new ground, and the rest of this ground just wasn't quite as good a ground. But right now, according to the yield monitor, we're showing 163.3, and like I said, that's not counting the 220 plus bushel corn that was on the front of this farm. So I'm going to say we're going to be averaging over 180 on this farm, which I'm very happy about. It'll definitely be my highest average, and be really good considering we had so much new ground. Because most of the new ground, it was, you know, in the 100 bushel range probably. But anyway, we've been very blessed. It's been a great year. Harvest is long from over, but we just about got our corn here finished up. We need a rain kind of desperately, that way we can get our winter wheat planted. I usually like to try to get my winter wheat planted you know, around the end of October, 1st of November, to try to maximize our yields on it. And if we don't start getting some rain, and there's not much in the forecast, I don't know what's going to happen with our winter wheat. This farm will be going back into winter wheat, Lord willing, and that put us at about 50 acres of winter wheat next year, and we're going to have about 8 to 10 acres of oats. And just depending on if my brother decides to plant that farm that we cut soybeans on of his, and winter wheat, we may have a little more winter wheat, but that's the plan this year. And then we're going to have probably a lot more corn next year, just depending on how I end up doing my rotation. But as we've been growing, it's been harder and harder to dial my rotation in, just because we keep gaining ground, and which I'm very happy about. This year we almost doubled in size from what we was last year, and it turned out to be a pretty good year to do it, just because we had decent yields. And I mean, the market's not great. You know, the political side of things and the media side of things is really making it look like Trump is doing a terrible job, and you know, the soybean prices are just killing us, and the deal with China, you know, is just really killing soybean farmers. Well guys, it's not. I mean, farmers are hurting, yes, but it's not because of that. You know, the prices this year and last year are very similar, and Trump wasn't in office last year, so we can't blame it all on Trump. I would love to see prices go back up. I would love to see all my fellow farmers be able to have great years, and you know, have all nice new equipment and everything. But you know what, guys, you might have to buckle up and prepare for this storm that's coming, because I don't think it's here yet. I think we're just starting to see the early signs of the storm. I'm afraid the way the media has gotten and have kind of scared the public view of things. I'm really scared that us as farmers are going to have a lot of tough times ahead, and we've got to be willing to prove ourselves, prove what we're doing is, you know, good for the environment, good for the people. And if it's not, then we need to change our ways to better help the public. You know, just because that's how we make our living at it doesn't mean that it's right. You know, I think a lot of it's just politics and people trying to scare people, but at the same time, you know, we rely on the public to buy our products, and if they're not willing to buy our products, then what are we going to do? I definitely don't think organic is the answer, but maybe a step towards organic somehow, a median between the two, maybe using less chemicals somehow. And I don't know what the right answer is, but us as farmers can't just shove it down the public's throat and expect them to agree with it. We have to prove to them why we're doing what we're doing and whatnot. But enough of the rant. Let's get this corn shelled and figure out what we're going to do next. Well, I got done with that field. Coleman is unloading the truck now, as y'all can obviously see. We're going to fill the combine up, and I think we're going to go ahead and move it to the next farm and maybe go ahead and make a pass and just see. I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be a little bit wet, but we're going to give it a shot and just see what happens. Get this maybe filled up with fuel. Be on to the next one. We've got this fan set up. I think I showed y'all in the past. We've got a fan set up. It blows on the corn here. It blows out a lot of extra D-swings, and it blows off a lot of this chaff. You know, we get it pretty clean with the combine, but we can't ever get it perfect. And this really helps, especially when we bag it for deer corn. A lot less dusty, a lot less stuff for us to eat while we're bagging it. And it's also a lot better, you know, us just moving it and everything and getting all this stuff out. Makes it a lot better quality for my deer corn customers. And I mean, y'all can tell we get a lot of extra junk out of this corn. And yes, I know if we had a red combine, it would be better. Blah, blah, blah. Let's get this mirror cleaned off. I got me a brush. We can knock off the biggest majority of the junk. Try to do this about every night, on the winders anyway. And we got us some window cleaner. Well guys, this is going to be the last pass for 2025 of corn. Last 6 rows. Beautiful afternoon. Be glad to get this done, get it all in the dried, and hopefully get us some rain and be able to get our wheat going here. Been a good year. We're very blessed and all stretches of the imagination. Wrapping her up. They just about caught me with a bush hog. This field's looking mighty fine out here. Big wide open spaces. Pick up Coleman down here, he's been getting some videos. It's that steep little hill right here. I don't know if it shows up on camera, but see it. Putting the old 986 in the cart to test today. I know it probably don't really pick up on camera, but this is a steep hill right here. And Coleman has got a pretty good load on him. Thank God we got the duals. You can see the load. 986 is handling it pretty good though. That field right out in front of me has a little bit of a descent downhill, like back towards us. So that kind of puts into perspective this hill right here. We have to truck this corn from here out to, there's a dirt road right over there where we've got the semi truck parked. And this is a big reason we bought our grain cart, for stuff like this. So if not, we would have to take the combine down to there to that dirt road every single trip. Dirt road, and there's the peak. We can get her loaded up here and take her to Candor, deliver another load of corn, get another little check. So far we are really enjoying this grain cart. I don't see how we could have done it without it. I know we could have, because we've done it in the past years without it, but I mean, for farms like this, you just about have to have it. But not only did it come in handy for corn, it also really came in handy for beans as well. I hope that thing clears the muffler. Yeah, I think it will. Well, y'all, the old Pete has let us down. Thankfully, it let us down literally within eyesight of the driveway. But our transmission has gone out, we believe. It started making some really loud racket on our way home, and we knew it was on the way out. And I took it out of gear here at the house, and we cannot get it back in gear. And the brakes are not applied right now. We're on a hill and the truck is not rolling, so I'm not sure what's going on. No good though. Boy, that thing does not sound happy. Coleman somehow got it to break free We got the truck in the driveway. We're gonna try to get back up here and see if we can get this trailer unhooked. And then I guess get the truck to the shop, and it's gonna be out of commission for a little while. I don't know if y'all can hear that, if the audio picks it up. That thing sounds like crap. Cut yourself on them sharp gears. Down here at the transmission shop, they pulled a rope in here for us. I'm gonna show you all the carnage. Woo.
That's not the only gear broke.
That ain't that gear, is it?
No.
Here's our gear that's broke here. Y'all can see there. It's no good. We got some teeth on this main shaft that's broke. They're all real crisp and sharp. There's one that's broke, but that was our main noise right there. And Coleman didn't think, and I'm pretty sure he's right, that this is not that gear. So we may have multiple gears broke. That is crazy.
Stuck out right there on that back gear. Now we're gonna lock it up.
Overdrive rebuilds here in Concord. They got a little bit of everything. You're gonna get us all fixed up here. They're putting our bell housing and all of our existing parts from this transmission on our new one. And we're gonna go get our new clutch and everything. Just like that, we got a new one on there, ready to roll.
If I'm right, I think this tool should bottom out.
We got our rear main seal tool installer arrived yesterday, and Coleman's installing a rear main here on the Pete. As soon as we get it in, we got to get our clutch mounted up, get it installed, and then I think we'll be ready to try to finagle the transmission in here. It's a pretty tight little area here. Trying to get the transmission between here and there, there's not much room.
This is a cheap Amazon seal tool for us NTC 855 Cummins.
And when it says cheap, it's still $250, but that's better than the, what, $1,300 or something through Cummins?
Is what Cummins wanted, and they didn't even know if they could get it anymore, so.
The seal itself was 150
bucks, 125, but, and everybody's gonna say, why don't you find a cheaper option? Well, I talked to the service representative at our local Cummins branch, and if we put this seal in with a tool, and they say this seal does leak, and they come in and they check everything, as long as the seal looks like it's right, he said that Cummins will honor their warranty. They'll pay for the labor to have it swapped. So if we have a transmission in here, you know, we're looking probably 10 hours worth of labor. So, and it's made in America, so
it's a year warranty. So hopefully this tool is going to get it installed correctly, not mess the seal up, and hopefully it won't leak.
Hopefully we don't need our warranty.
We're going to, once he gets it installed here though, we're going to crank the motor up and let it run and just make sure it doesn't leak, at least right off the start. We got our new to us rebuilt transmission here sitting on this jack. That was thankfully some time with it allowed from a local trucking company. They let us use it. But we got our transmission here. We had to run back to the facilities and get a new rubber piece to go here, keep the dust and stuff out of that shifter. We got new shifter bushing thing where our actual transmission shifter, gear shifter goes here. We got a new one of those. So we got to get a new speed sensor because our we were having some intermittent issues, and we don't know if this is what it is, but you can see that wire right there is bare. So we're thinking maybe that's our intermittent speedo issues. But we got all new fittings and things here, all new airlines on our transmission. That was all part of the rebuild. What else do we get? We got a brand new clutch sitting around here somewhere, but hopefully this thing's gonna be back in the truck here in a couple of hours. Coleman installed new motor mounts, rear motor mounts. You can't see them now, but they're right up here above me. He installed those 2 or 3 days ago. So that part's ready to go. This truck's gonna be like a new one, hopefully. And we still got some pretty major oil leaks going on up here on the front. We may go ahead, we got about a week of rain coming. We may go ahead and pull the radiator. And 90% of the leak is coming from this plate right here, this front plate. But we've got a new gasket for it. We've got a new oil pan gasket, and we've got a new front main seal and anything associated with that, doing that. So may see if we can do that, if we can get that oil leak fixed. And hopefully this new transmission and the rear main seals, hopefully that'll fix all of our oil leaks there. Our hydraulic pump for the wet line for the dump trailer, it does leak just a little bit. We do need to get it fixed at some point, but this is going to fix hopefully a lot of our leaks and issues and whining. But I do have a little bit of footage from the transmission shop. Y'all may have already seen that already, but if not, we had a major gear failure back here on this half of the transmission. He said multiple things could have caused it. He said shock loading it, like trying to stop really fast, or incorrectly shifting our high range splitter. That could have done it, but we found there's a shaft that goes all the way through here. I guess it's part of your main input shaft. It comes all the way through. It's a great big shaft, but somewhere right about in here, there's a big old bearing, and that bearing was actually out. About half the balls were missing. So we believe that right there, what Coleman and I think anyway, we think that bearing being out was causing, when we would shift to our high side or our high range, or what do you call it, overdrive, Coleman? The overdrive portion, when we'd flip it, every now and again it wouldn't engage correctly. And what he was thinking was that bearing, because that shaft had a little bit of movement because that bearing was out, that maybe that was putting those gears in just enough of a bind that when we would shift it, sometimes it wouldn't engage properly, and that probably what cracked that gear, and then just happened to fly apart when we were going down the road. But anyway, $4,500 later, we're going to have a new transmission and a new clutch. We'll probably have, $5,500, $6,000 in everything time we're done. Time the seals and the oil. We did get enough oil to change the rear diffs as well. So
we're going above and beyond. We're not doing anything.
We're going to try to fix everything so that hopefully it's fixed and we don't have leaks. Nice freshly serviced flywheel. Letting the motor run, warm up a little bit, and it's like we got an air leak or something maybe. But letting her crank up, warm up a little bit, and just make sure that thing ain't leaking before we stick the transmission, the clutch, and all that up there. And it takes a 6-hour job to fix the oil leak.